the government and not to criticize it. And in our special feature tonight, we look into the fate of the opposition.
This is Kutv Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. We begin the new year with our friend Moses Gitonga, who is joining us in the sign language interpretation tonight. Welcome to this live broadcast. Now, President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua led the nation in ushering the new year 2024 at State House Nakuru, where he graced a New Year crossover party that was attended by various cabinet secretaries and other leaders. Ruto, who wished Kenyans a prosperous year, has faulted the opposition for sabotaging the government's plans, while his deputy said that Kenya's star is about to shine once more in a few months to come.
As the whole world marked the New Year 2024 at midnight, President William Ruto held a New Year crossover party at State House Nakuru, which was attended by his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, some cabinet secretaries, and other leaders, including Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika.
I wish every Kenyan, irrespective of their status, irrespective of their station, irrespective of where they live, a blessed, progressive, and successful 2024.
We are on a great path of economic revival, and this country, in a few months, will shine once more.
The president, who was full of praises for government projects, including the affordable housing project, in his speech reflected on the year 2023, where he boasted of his administration making tough, necessary decisions.
We collectively summoned the courage to make bold, decisive, far-reaching, and long-term decisions to once and for all put our country on the path to attaining its full socio-economic potential. The choices we've made over the last year were neither easy, populist, nor convenient.
Aside from campaigning for the nation's tourism sector, the president was not pleased by the opposition, which he has faulted for allegedly sabotaging the Kenya Kwanza government's plan.
You will agree with me that there is something fundamentally wrong with opposition without any viable alternative, whose only purpose is division, conflict, and anarchy. There is something wrong with litigation sponsored by hostage-taking vested interests with the sole aim to delay, derail, and sabotage the delivery of public programs and defeat public interest.
These sentiments come at a time when the opposition leader Raila Odinga has declared return of protests if the government does not remove the Finance Act 2023, which he associates with the rising cost of living.
Kenya has also achieved the status of the best adventure tourism destination in Africa and ranks 10th globally. With our newly crafted global positioning as the home of humankind and a visa-free regime, we are poised to double our tourist arrivals, expand opportunities for thousands of hospitality facilities, and create millions of jobs.
From Nakuru, the president led the nation in the New Year crossover, even as Kenyans across the 47 counties thronged churches, keshas, and various entertainment events to usher in the new year 2024. Eliud Mutegi, KUTV.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua celebrated this particular new year with inmates at Kingongo GK prison in Nyeri, where he emphasized the government's commitment to reform correctional facilities and enhance working conditions of the prison warders. Accompanied by his spouse, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, the Deputy President spent time with the prisoners and shared lunch together. He also gifted them 2,000 pieces of mattresses and blankets. The day-long event, dubbed quote-unquote Kingongo Prison New Year Service and Party, was also marked by prayers and preaching led by Pastor Dorcas, who delivered the Sermon of Hope in the new year 2024.
I want to encourage you. President William Ruto and his government wameweka mikakati kabambe ya marekebisho katika our facilities. Tukuje hapa tubadilike, mambo ya ukulima, mambo ya manufacturing, mambo ya kutengeneza magari, mambo ya furniture, mambo ya courses. Ya kwamba ukitoka hapa uende uanze maisha upya ukiwa na kosi yako. Na mimi nataka muweke bidii. Mtaweka bidii? Nataka muweke bidii.
And Kenyans nationwide came in to usher the new year 2024, each in their own unique way. Some spent the night in churches, while others enjoyed in clubs to welcome the new year. Despite the new year festivities, Kenyans acknowledged the challenges faced in 2023 and expressed hope for a more prosperous and beneficial year 2024.
Goodbye 2023, welcome 2024 was the prevailing sentiment among Kenyans as they ushered in the new year 2024 with cheerful celebrations.
2023 has been a tough year, but I expect 2024 to be a very good year, a year of prosperity, a year of blessings, and I'm really happy to celebrate being in a new year because there are so many people who expected to see this new year, but I'm among the many or the few people who are able to see this new year, and I really celebrate and I thank God for us.
Kenyans have kept their hopes high that the new year will bring relief compared to the hardships faced in the previous year, 2023. Despite the challenges of 2023, a tough year that left many Kenyans hurt by the high cost of living, residents of Narok County gathered for a New Year's Eve celebration, expressing joy and optimism for a better economy in the country in 2024.
Nashukuru sana Mungu kwa ajili at least mwaka umepita. Ile mwaka ingine ilikuwa ni mambo ya uchumi iko juu, lakini tunaona hii mwaka serikali inatuonekania sisi watu wa hotel industry at least tutapata kitu mwaka.
In Embu County, residents gathered together in popular joints and churches to bid farewell to the year 2023, marked by fireworks to welcome the new year.
We thank God for the year 2023, and we believe that 2024 will be good. The resolution is we want to make sure that we follow all the rules and regulations, na Mungu atusaidie tuweze kuwa watu wa kufanikiwa.
Renowned musicians also joined the residents to entertain them with songs that resonated with them as they welcomed the new year.
I'm glad that I have been able to see 2024, and I know 2024 is going to be filled with a lot of blessings. 2024, 1st January being my birthday, I thank God for the gift of life, and I know that this year 2024 is going to be filled with a lot of blessings for me and my family.
Kenyans are filled with hope that the year 2024 will bring its blessings and that the challenges faced in 2023 will be a thing of the past. Caroline Kimwele for KUTV.
And church leaders drawn from Murang'a County have predicted better economic times in the new year following the continued rains. Speaking during the crossover night vigil held at Kabati Shopping Center, the leaders urged Kenyans to pray for the country instead of criticizing the government saying there are good signs that 2024 will be better than 2023. Apostle Joseph Kihara of Favor Church and Reverend Julius Njoroge said that only God has the mandate to better our economy. That requires clerics and other religious leaders to stand in the gap and pray.
Sisi wachungaji na kanisa kwa jumla tuendelee na kuomba, kwa sababu uchumi usipotengenezwa na Mungu, hakuna mtu anaweza kutengeneza uchumi, hata hiyo serikali. Tutakuwa tukilalamikiana, tutakuwa na mahasira na stress, lakini hatutasaidika. Ili tuombe Mungu aendelee na kutunyeshea mvua, kwa sababu hapo ndio bei ya unga itaenda chini. Hapo ndio tutapata ajira, ndio tutapata chakula ya kutosha familia.
In international news, now Ukraine attempted to break through the lines of invading Russian forces in 2023 as the West stepped up the supply of heavier weapons and advanced missile systems. But as Henry Ridgwell reports from VOA, neither side appears to make a significant breakthrough. Listen in.
Invading Russian forces seized the Ukrainian salt mining town of Soledar in January 2023 after months of brutal fighting. Russian missiles continued to rain down on Ukrainian cities. With Ukrainian forces struggling to make battlefield gains, Western allies announced they would send heavy weapons to Kyiv, including tanks and longer-range missile systems. Ahead of the first anniversary of the war in February, US President Joe Biden made an unannounced visit to Kyiv. He said Russian President Vladimir Putin had been wrong about Western commitment to Ukraine.
He thought he could outlast us. I don't think he's thinking that right now.
Evidence suggests that Russia destroyed the Nova Kakhovka Dam in May, flooding vast areas of southeast Ukraine to stall any Ukrainian counter-offensive and creating an environmental disaster. Russia, in return, blamed Ukraine for the structure's collapse. By June, Ukraine was able to recapture some territory, but failed to achieve a major breakthrough in the Russian lines. The Western weapons supplies were too little, too late, says analyst Ian Bond.
The Russians had a long time to build up their minefields and their fixed fortifications, so they're actually in a much stronger position than they were. And we've been asking the Ukrainians to launch their counteroffensive when they have very little air capability.
Mercenaries from Russia's private Wagner army staged a mutiny in June. Putin negotiated an end to the rebellion. Wagner's chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin, was killed in a plane crash a few weeks later. By November, Ukraine's commander-in-chief said the war had reached a stalemate, though Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky disagreed with his assessment. Zelensky did achieve a diplomatic breakthrough as the European Union in December agreed to start formal accession talks.
The negotiation process will not be easy, but the main thing is that historically we have made a determination. Ukraine will always be part of our common European home.
But that European future remains in the balance, says analyst Olga Tokaryuk.
If Ukraine is defeated, if Ukraine fails militarily, all the EU membership negotiations process is worthless. But it will not just be a defeat of Ukraine, it will be a defeat of European Union and the wider West that committed to supporting Ukraine as long as it takes.
Ukrainian forces face a long, bitter winter on the front lines, with vital military aid packages held up in both the United States and the European Union. Analysts say Ukraine's greatest concern for the coming year is Western fatigue, as the US presidential election looms at the end of 2024. Henry Ridgwell, VOA News, London.
A 9:15 p.m. time for us to take our first short break right here on Kutv Primetime News. We'll be back shortly.
reach to the end of the year.
At KUTV,
we thank you for being with us throughout the year.
And we hope to see more of you in the coming years.
Kwa moyo mkunjufu
na furaha tele tele
kutoka kwetu hapa KUTV,
tunachukua fursa hii
kukutakia Krismasi ya kufana.
May the joy of the season linger and the new year bring you prosperity.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Focus on Health is a show that creates awareness on matters health and informs you on various diseases, their causes, treatment, prevention, coping, and support. So join me, Bwari Michelle, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at KUTV Focus on Health on Facebook and also on YouTube, and Health Focus on Instagram, because your health is your wealth. Stay safe and stay healthy.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Remember, we are also live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. We continue. Now, Azimia leader Raila Odinga has maintained the opposition leadership in 2023, mounting pressure on the government, among other things, demanding for a reduction on the cost of living that has pushed Kenyans to the gutter. Odinga remains a key political figure in Kenya's politics, and amid speculations of the rift in the opposition leadership, core principles in the coalition maintain that they are in opposition to stay. Our very own Eliud Mutweri seeks to unravel the mystery in this 2023 Azimio leadership recap. Take a look.
Zakayo asuke chini. Hii maandamano hatutaki mambo ya break.
Na nimeambia mambo ni mangapi? Matatu.
We are talking about the unity of the people of Mount Kenya.
After his fifth stab at the presidential race in the 2022 general election, Raila Odinga, the ODM party and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader, who still maintains the 2022 presidential election was rigged, retreated to his opposition camp, which he has been steering faithfully. However, questions linger on the opposition leadership. One key question is whether Odinga will still be at the forefront of leading Kenya's opposition. Ever since he lost the election in 2022, Odinga has been active in opposition leadership, as he even led anti-government protests across the country in the months of March and July, lamenting over the soaring costs of living. He is known for maintaining his closest political allies and loyal die-hard support within his strongholds, such as the Nyanza region. Key figures and political bigwigs who are also Azimio co-principals have been instrumental in the coalition's leadership and activities. These include the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who dropped his 2022 presidential aspiration to support Baba. NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua, who was Baba's running mate in the 2022 face-off against their opponents, President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. Former Defense Cabinet Secretary and DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, former Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, Roots Party leader and 2022 presidential aspirant who defected to Azimio, George Lushiri Wajakoya, and Jubilee Party's Jeremiah Kioni. Ugunja Member of Parliament and National Assembly Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi, and ODM Secretary General who doubles as the Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, have been vibrant Odinga disciples holding public offices among other elected leaders. Although the ruling coalition Kenya Kwanza has been adamant that Raila is old enough to exit the political scene since the 2022 campaign and election period, Azimio and Raila have maintained that the opposition chief is here to stay, while his political disciples almost point out that Odinga may give the presidential candidacy a 6th try.
Kura 2027 tunataka Baba Raila Amolo. Sisi wale watu ambaye tumechaguliwa katika Azimio, kiongozi yetu ni Raila Amolo. Wale wanafikiri ya kwamba baba anaweza staafu, watangoje paka Yesu arudi. Kama unafikiri wakati ya baba imefika, ndio tumeanza. Sasa ndio tumeanza safari ya maana. Ile ingine ilikuwa ya mchezo.
On Sunday, 15th October 2023, while attending the birthday and Thanksgiving party of his brother Oburu Odinga in Bondo, Raila showered praises and hinted at backing up Kalonzo for a 2027 presidential bid.
Jamaa ana moyo. Jamaa ana ukakamavu. Jamaa ni mtu ambaye unaweza kumwamini. Yeye ni mtu mwaminifu. Yeye tena ni mtu Mkristo. Yeye ni mtu ana tabia ya ungingwana. Ana upendo. Sisi tutasimama kidete na ndugu Kalonzo Musyoka. Yeye ni mtu mwaminifu.
A day later, through a statement by the Azimio coalition, Odinga, however, made a quick U-turn, saying the media misquoted him. The statement stated that Raila recognizes that 4 years before the next election is way too early for a political party to name its candidate, while stating that his praise for Kalonzo was an acknowledgement and appreciation for Kalonzo's support in 3 successive elections. It further said that Azimio will not name its candidate until a year or just months before the 2027 election. It also said, and I quote, Odinga's words of praise for Mr. Musyoka were therefore not intended to mean Odinga had or intends to quit active politics. End of quote. However, it is still debatable whether Odinga had prematurely declared his intended support for Kalonzo's 2027 presidential bid or not. At the beginning of the year, Kalonzo's allies in the Wiper Party had pushed for Odinga to endorse Kalonzo as Azimio's flag bearer in what they said would help Azimio make early preparations to dethrone President Ruto in 2027. However, ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and Jubilee's Jeremiah Kioni dismissed the call, terming it premature. President William Ruto, who was on a tour to Homa Bay in early October, had called on his former political ally turned rival Raila Odinga to support him in his 2027 quest to retain the top seat in a gesture of political chest thumping, implying that Kalonzo will be unable to unseat him if he was fronted as the Azimio presidential flag bearer.
Ile tu deni bado mimi niko naye na nitauliza Agwambo. Unajua mimi nimepigia kura Agwambo. Na Agwambo hajawahi kunipigia kura. Sasa namngojea 2027. Kwa sababu sasa kama yeye is not running, si mimi nitashindana na Kalonzo. Huyu Kalonzo kweli mkiona na
Juzi nilisikia kama Ruto alikuwa pande anasema tu mimi najua baba hata simama. Sasa mimi nitakuwa na saka Kalonzo tu. Anaongea juu ya Kalonzo kama Kalonzo ni kama yeye. Kalonzo ameshinda bwana Ruto mara 10.
Kalonzo was regarded as third in command in Azimio in the run-up to the 2022 general elections after Odinga opted for NARC Kenya's Martha Karua as his running mate. Karua's no-show in many Azimio political rallies this year has been loud, even as Kalonzo remained close and active in Azimio's rallies. Karua's lack of presence in Azimio rallies seems louder now than before, as she took a stand not to support the recently unveiled National Dialogue Committee's NADCO report, which was welcomed by Azimio leader Raila Odinga. DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, who was part of the Dialogue Committee, also dissented the report. Karua's and Wamalwa's divergent opinions with those of Azimio leadership on the NADCO report have sent political shivers of a potential drift within the Azimio leadership, with Azimio la Umoja spokesperson Professor Makau Mutua later asking Azimio members who do not agree with the report to leave the coalition. On 23rd October, Karua and Kioni led the launch of Kamwene Leadership Forum, a caucus they said will be for pioneering the interests of the Mount Kenya region. Although the formation of this group would have been viewed as a possible breakout from Azimio, Karua insisted they are in Azimio to stay. On Sunday 19th November 2023, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has maintained a low profile of the public since he left the house on the hill last year, attended a fundraising church service at Full Gospel Church in Mwingi, together with Wiper leader and Azimio co-principal Kalonzo Musyoka, alongside other Azimio leaders. In the occasion, Uhuru, who had declared his full support for Odinga as his preferred successor in the 2022 campaign and election period, reaffirmed he is still an active member of the Azimio coalition.
Mimi sifichi kusema ya kwamba pale ambapo mimi nasimamia, mimi naambianga watu mimi ni mwana Azimio. Na hapo mimi niko, mimi sio mtapeli wa kuruka huku na kuruka huku. Sijui ati leo iko hivi, leo iko hivi. Mimi nikitoa msimamo wangu, mimi nakaa na msimamo wangu, kwa sababu hivyo ndivyo tulifundishwa na wale wazee ambao walitufundisha siasa.
This statement, together with Uhuru's meeting with Kiambu Jubilee leaders and diplomatic heads like America's ambassador to Kenya Meg Whitman and British High Commissioner to Kenya Neil Wigman, underscores Kenyatta's key involvement in opposition politics and that he may be a key figure in shaping Azimio politics and determining who is to be the next opposition presidential candidate. This comes amidst increased condemnation and attacks on the former president for problems encountered in the country, especially after the handshake with Odinga and consequent fallout with his then deputy William Ruto in March 2018. Kenyatta has often been linked to this year's opposition protests by the current regime's allies. It is unclear to many whether the 5 times unlucky Raila, aged 78 years, for whom the presidential dream seems elusive, is in a good condition to continue steering the opposition, but he has not declared his retirement from politics yet and continues to insist that he is still going to engage in active politics. Gauging from the previous election, if the Azimio co-principals do not break up, Kalonzo and Karua are the next in line in leading the opposition. However, Kalonzo has been the most visible, and gauging from Wiper's push to have him endorsed as Azimio's 2027 flag bearer, plans may be underway to groom him as the next opposition chief. Others who have declared interest in bearing the opposition's flag to vie for the presidency include former Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, former Mombasa Governor Hali Hassan Joho, DAP Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa, and KANU chairperson Gideon Moi. Former Murang'a Governor and Usawa kwa Wote Party leader Mwangi wa Iria, who was disqualified from the 2022 presidential race by the electoral body IEBC for not garnering sufficient signatures, has declared that he will vie for the presidency in 2027. After the 2022 elections that saw Ruto rise to the State House, Wairia has thrown his support behind the Azimio coalition. As for now, Kenyans are yet to know who will be the next opposition presidential candidate, as Odinga has not explicitly declared his intention to vie for the presidency. Eliud Mutweri, KUTV.
Zakayo asuke chini. Hii maandamano hatutaki mambo ya break.
Na nimeambia mambo ni mangapi? Matatu.
We are talking about the unity of the people of Mount Kenya.
We now dive into sports news, and 2 individuals have been detained by Kenya police in relation to the death of Ugandan athlete Benjamin Kiplagat, who was discovered dead from a stab wound in a car on Sunday in Eldoret. Both of the suspects are in their 30s, and according to local police chief Stephen Okal, they are known criminals who have been terrorizing members of the public. According to Okal, the 2 suspects were arrested earlier today, with one being arrested in Uasin Gishu County and the other in Trans Nzoia County. The 2 will be taken to court tomorrow as investigations continue. 31 minutes past 9 p.m. Time for us to close down the news and the operations of the live broadcast here at Kutv Primetime News. But our programming continues. We have entertainment programs, educative programs, and programs that continue to shape you and your thinking and how you view the world. Of course, we come to the end of the conversation for now, but the conversation continues. Tomorrow we shall be live with Mizizi ya habari at 6:30 p.m. and I will be back at 9 p.m. to bring you events that have unfolded and that will have unfolded by then. We've come to the end of the conversation for now. Our sign language interpreter goes by the name Moses Gitonga. My name is Mutegi K. Martin, and before I leave you, it's a new year once again. Yeah, that time where you have 12 or more resolutions, maybe one for each month. And I'm speaking to that one person who has had resolutions for many years now that they haven't achieved. Stop writing those resolutions. Just go out there and put your hands to work. Happy New Year.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Hey there, my name is Anyango Sylvia, and here at KUTV we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But don't forget to keep that extra chair on your table for the less fortunate.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the floods, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we're losing.
The level we need to go is a level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake these solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you'll find that it serves us a bit more than you put in. And that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found, because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
A loving husband and father.
Nothing is too good for my daughter.
A An ambitious businessman with a dark secret. A girl with a whole life in front of her, plunging into a marriage that she did not choose with the wrong man.
I'm not ready to marry Zeva.
But who is the right one? I love Nambi. A rock star, living the dream.
But the babes keep chasing me, I guess.
It ain't easy being famous. Especially with so many glamorous women around.